So you live. So you live. So you live. So I live.
MC Benny.
Come on, East Africa.
Ha!
It's a party.
Tell them.
Okay, good morning, Africa. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Check-In. My name is Sebastian, Segawa Ivan Sebastian, and I am the East African Community Youth Ambassador to Uganda. Today with me, I have a few people. I have Kemi from the ULED Events Bureau, and also she's also our lovely host for the Unplugged series every Thursday. So the people who follow the Unplugged series must know Kemi very well. But I see her network is a little shaky. Kemi, can you hear me? Okay. I think we shall get my guests better when their network stabilizes. But how are you doing, guys? We are back to an exciting new week. It's what? Around the second, now third. I think it's the second week of August. And I told you that August is a youthful month. Last week, we celebrated the International Youth Day. I am excited to hear, where did you celebrate it? Which country are you from? And what was some of the things that were discussed? What were the commitments made by the political actors? What commitment did you make as a young person on the International Youth Day to further better food systems? I'll also be sharing with you how I spent my International Youth Day. But away from that, today we shall also go and discuss Zambia. We all know that Zambia was having an election on the very International Youth Day. And we shall briefly talk about it. And we shall also talk definitely as the nature is. For those of you following us, just drop in the comments. You can tell me your name, tell me where you are tuning in from, and then tell me what is happening there, because we want to touch base with every corner of this continent. But while we are in the uh, business of knowing where we are, I just want to just briefly talk about Afghanistan. And I know it is usually our custom to pay attention to homegrown issues, but we all know, for those of you who have anyway been following the news, both mainstream and social media, that Kabul last night, yesterday, Sunday, was taken over by the Taliban, and the whole of Afghanistan now, the government has been toppled. That means very many things, of course, and when you follow the news closely, there are very many people that are trying to flee, the country, the airport. The last I heard, the commercial flights have been cancelled. There has been also an issue of, and this is where I'm extremely interested, of violence against women and children. I'll tell you two things. That when the Taliban took over, they first of all actually commanded all the women that were working to go back home, and all the children, the girls who are at school and at universities, to also go back home. So as it is now, women are not allowed to work or even study in Afghanistan. And this is a very big blow to the gender equality fight. for such a government with that school of thought to be in power. And I know it has been recognized by a few big countries that are part of the UN Security Council, which is very unfortunate. But I'm hoping that their move to request women to stay home is because of the state of affairs right now, because it is wartime. And I do pray that their decision is one, to ensure security, because if it is not and it is long term, then it is going to be very challenging. For those of you who don't know, about 700,000 homesteads in Afghanistan lost their male figures, the fathers, the breadwinners, to war. So for those 700,000 homesteads, it is the women, the mothers, that have been going out to work and feed their families. So it is unbecoming, mostly in the 21st century, to have such decisions against women and against the girls to be taken. And also, when we come back home here, I think that we need to be very careful. We need to be very careful, because then our extremist groups that have been sharing that school of thought, most especially in West Africa, the the Boko Haram, that have been very, very insistent on women and children not attaining education or even working, then I hope they do not get a sense of encouragement from this decision. I think as young people, we have the moral obligation to call out to call out wrong things whenever they happen and wherever they happen. If you're out there, that should be your contribution to the world, because then we are trying not only to safeguard ourselves, but even our neighbors, our brothers and sisters. All right. Before I proceed, I am sorry, I am waking up. I'm waking you up today with a very, very heavy rants. But before I proceed, I would like to just have a few of my guests introduce themselves, and then we can proceed to discussing our African matters and discussing what is happening where you are. So I have Kemi, I have David, and I have Kamala. Kemi, I'll start with you. Just tell us who you are, where you are, and what is happening where you are. Kemi, can you hear me?
Hi everyone. Hope you're good. Yes,
Okay.
my network a bit shaky. I don't know if you can hear me properly.
Yes, you are very clear.
Okay, great. I can't talk long because my voice is on bed. But my name is Fiona Kemi. As I said, I work with, let's see, first I'm a digital content creator. So I'm just a creative person in this world, a little bit in communications as well, about entrepreneurship, just young people taking up space in so many areas of entrepreneurship. At the moment, we talk about something specifically news related, because what
All right. Kemi, thank you for joining us.
but I know Sebastian actually
okay.
and that is something that I'm
Kemi,
very
your
excited about
network
at the
is very
moment.
poor. We shall get back to you, I think, when you get a more stable network. But now we can have David. David, talk to us. Where are you? And I know that David, recently you got. I was following the Twitter feed, and there is something that I want to hear about. I heard you something new. I'm excited to hear what that is.
Yes, good morning, Sebastian. Good morning, Kamal, and also good morning, Kemi. So yes, I'm called Emolot Alandade. I'm the national coordinator of the African Youth Charter Hustlers, an initiative by the African Union, mainly aimed at increasing youth participation in issues of governance and all other aspects of the state or the nation. So yes, I'm tuning in from Namugongo, This is where I stay in Wakiso district. Usually I always say Kampala, but I stay in Wakiso district, which of course is just a few meters from a few kilometers from the capital. Yes, yes. So yes, last week has been quite busy. It has been quite busy with me on my side, and yes, we're celebrating, of course, the International Youth Day, and I was honored. It was a privilege to be hosted by colleagues from Abuja, Nigeria, and we're mainly discussing about climate change. If you may know that Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, released a report, I believe, on 7th of this month, mainly talking about how the human activity is affecting the temperatures in the globe. And you may realize that the continent right now is on 1.2 degrees Celsius in terms of the temperature rise, and the threshold is 1.5. That if we reach 1.5, it will be really disaster for the country or for the globe in general, and we will see more climate catastrophes. We've seen floods, of course, in Uganda and the rest. We've also seen fires in Algeria. Of course, Africans thought climate change is mainly a white thing, but also seen in Nigeria and Algeria, 5 and plus, we're still counting people dead because of the fires. So yes, we're having discussions around climate change, and so eventually, of course, after the event, I was given the ambassadorship. So yes, of course, as a thank you, of course, as part of my ongoing initiative to just see that we up the fight on climate change as youth. So yes, that is briefly about the new kind of development from my side. Thank you, Sebastian.
Congratulations. We are very happy for you. And we wish you the very most in your new duty of ambassadorship. And I agree with you that climate change is something that affects all of us, and we need to be able to fight it in every way we can. And one of the ways, of course, is, for example, sharing information. We now have Kamala. Kamala, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kamala. I'm reporting live from Tanzania. And we're happy, we're so much happy for the election in Zambia as a part of SADC Youth Parliament. I feel happy for what we call in our region for the peaceful transition of power from one person to another, and respect of the constitution. So today, I think we provide the official statement as the member of SADC on how we are happy, and we encourage the young people in Zambia to keep protecting peace, but also to ask the current government to enroll more young people in the leadership position. I think this is what we have been advocating for. Yeah. And the other thing is what was happening during the International Youth Day. I think across the East Africa community, there was a lot going, especially during the celebration of International Youth Day. I saw congratulations in Uganda. I see you had a good time to meet His Excellency Baba Mzee Kaguta Museveni. I think this was a nice opportunity where young people meet the president, the leaders, and have a talk, a discussion. Because even the previous, when we were young, we used to have a discussion with our bazay. You sit down and they tell you the story, and you exchange from the story, you tell them what's happening. So we are so much expect maybe if the Ugandan team will get some time to share with us what's happened, what is promising, what's the hopes, how does young people from other East African countries learn from Uganda and establish a platform where you can maybe next time to meet the readers and share and talk with others so that we can be in the position to move the one agenda across East Africa. Yeah, so that's all, but also we have been following your international news, what's happening in Afghanistan, and we keep praying for the people in Afghanistan. I've seen and how people they are wondering where to go, but then it's we belong to one family of humanity, of human beings, so we care about others. And I think we will call for the UN to see if they can keep more intervention within countries. But otherwise, we're good, we're moving, and we still have hope for the future and tomorrow.
All right. While we are on the same topic, David here has just shared with us that he's now the new climate change ambassador, and it is important to note that this Thursday at ULID, Kemi will be hosting the Unplugged series as always, and we shall be discussing climate change. So you want to be with us this Thursday at 7 p.m. The post is always there. Just register on the link. The post is going to be shared on all our social media platforms. Apply, register, and then you will be part of the conversation. And now to rush back to the International Youth Day, Kamala has shared how he has spent his. David has too. And I also think it's only fair to tell you that, like Kamala said, we got the opportunity to interact with the president of Uganda.
Oh yes,
And
oh yes.
the
Eh?
takeaway from it the takeaway from it was that he was encouraging young people to be productive. And I think it is very important that we strive to be productive in everything we do. But it was not all talk from the powers that be. We also had representation of young people that interacted with the president and told him the challenges that we face. And among those, social media, and also a request the government of Uganda to be able to provide some sort of funding for young people, mostly those who have been hit by the pandemic, so that they can find a way, the young entrepreneurs, so that they can find a way of reviving their little SMEs, their small SMEs. And the good thing is that the president pledged that for the next 5 years, the government will be able to inject about 5 trillion Ugandan shillings, which is a good thing. That average is about 1 trillion per year. And to just break it down for you, that means his understanding was that every parish in Uganda then gets about 100 million, which is roughly 32,000, 35,000 US dollars, which is a good thing then, because money will be decentralized and young people can be able to benefit from that fund. And we see you, Amos. Amos asks, how do we apply? Amos, if you want to be part of the Unplugged series, just follow our social media platforms. Either tomorrow or early Wednesday, a post will be out with the registration link to be part of the Unplugged series. Just do well to register. And now, because we are trying to keep it to 30 minutes, this check-in, I want us to, and Kemi here is contributing. She says, as a digital creator, she hopes that the internet can be treated more as a necessity, because so many people work online, and I agree with her. We need to ensure that we have infrastructure that first of all supports stable internet, and then access to internet should also be affordable. We need to have cheap data bundles and cheap access to internet. And most importantly, we need to remove all the blockades and the embargoes that have been put on some social media. For example, in Uganda, you cannot use Facebook, and in Nigeria, you cannot use Twitter. I think that those things should be moved. for young people to be able to access and be part of the global community more easily. Okay, so briefly now, and I know you guys have already heard that it is Kamala's favorite topic. It is his favorite day today. Zambia has a new president. And as you all know that Zambia has been celebrating its no, it has not been celebrating its elections. It has been exercising its democratic role. Zambia has been to the polls. It was on the polls on the 12th of August on the International Youth Day. And this is the most interesting thing about Zambia. And I will tell you that the opposition won the election, which is like very, very nice. And for those of you who come from countries, I know, for example, very many young people feel that the opposition in particular countries cannot win elections. But for Zambia, and I want to quote for you that the opposition leader, Hichilema, got 2.8 million votes, and then the incumbent, President Lungu, got 1.8. It was a difference of 1 million votes. And if you look down, it was mostly facilitated by young people. And this is a big call to all young people out there, that we should not agonize when we are the majority, because as we all know that democracy facilitates numbers and the majority take it all. That's a weird way to live, but anyway, that's democracy for you. So as young people, we should always ensure that every time there is an electoral process, we turn out in big numbers and we make our decisions by casting our votes for those people that have given their manifestos in the interest of majority of the young people. Okay, and just to tell you that this is not news in Zambia. It is the third time that power has been shifting from the ruling party to the opposition. So it has been going a back and forth. And I think that very many African countries have a lot to learn from Zambia. I'm going to be having a few of the we have here in the studio to weigh in on what they think of the Zambia elections. But before we do that, I just want to request one person. Today is a day of winning, save for Afghanistan. But for the rest of the African corners, we are hearing good news. Mafunda Kombo Faki. Mafunda, come introduce yourself. And a couple of days back, we were voting very heavily for you. We need to know whether results are out and whether we have anything to report to Africa. Mafunda.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I'm really happy to be here today in the check-in. And I am Mafunda Kumbofaki, the East Africa Community Youth Ambassador to Tanzania, and I'm tuning in from Zanzibar, Tanzania. And first of all, I would like to say that about the word, International Day for Youth. I participated as well. I joined the Zanzibar Youth Council, was with the forum about Zanzibar Women Youth Development Stakeholders Forum. So we were discussing about challenges, opportunity for youth.
We are losing you, Mafunda.
Young women and women in how they can get the development. And you get me?
Yes.
All right. Okay. And also talking about the voting from Tanzania Youth Award, as I was contesting as the Young Leader of the Year, female. Good thing the voting is over and the results were out. We went to the award night. And good thing that I became the second, which is the first runner. And the winner was... Yes, I was really happy for that because it was really, really the big competition and I made it. I was the second one. And also the good thing about that day is that there was the launch of the hashtag 2020 2250 African Syria campaign, which was the digital continental mapping to advance youth peace and security agenda. So it was the official launching during the award night. And it was like talking about how youth can also be the peace agent or peace ambassadors in the issue of peace and security, following the African Union. So it was the official launching of 2250 African Series campaign. So it was great, and I was happy, and I would like to say thank you to everyone who voted for me, and I'm really grateful for that. And I won't let you down. This leader is for Tanzania and for the whole continent, Africa in general, and the whole world. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Thank you, Mafunda, and congratulations. We are very proud of you. Second
Thank
most,
you.
second most young influential leader in Tanzania. Has a good tune to it. Very fine tune to it. And then Shaka
Thank you,
Jeremiah.
Lodi.
Shaka is a youth ambassador in Rwanda. Shaka is excited. He says with a difference of 1 million votes, and that was the ruling party instead. Lol. Yes, Shaka. It looks like the people of Zambia punish very heavily those that do not perform, and the ruling party was at the end of their whip in this last election. But anyway, we are coming very fast to the close of our show. Today, we unfortunately have to keep it under 30 minutes because the team over here is Mafunda. We see you, and we are grateful to associate with you. But anyway, um, allow me conclude today's show. We just had a conversation on four things. The first, we talked about Afghanistan, we talked about Zambia, we talked about the International Youth Day, and then we just talked about the election that we have been undertaking as Africa to support Mafunda. And it turned out, I told you, there is always power in numbers, and youth never disappoint. They never let their own down. Anyway,
Absolutely.
we see you, Honore, and you say you are watching from Guinea. We would love to hear how the situation is in Guinea, what is happening there. Although we are now coming to a conclusion, today I will also not enable our colleagues to say goodbye. I will speak for the whole team when I say thank you for tuning in, and have a lovely week. We shall be back on Wednesday for the check-in, and we shall be happy to hear more from what is happening all over Africa. But for now, have a lovely day. Bye.